For the past hour, Christian says he'd been hearing strange knocking sounds coming from his kitchen. Soft at first, but frequent enough that he finally grabbed his phone to record. He walks in slowly, clearly tense, trying to catch whatever has been making the noise.
Hey guys, I've been hearing this really weird knocking coming from my kitchen for like the last hour. What the hell? No way. The hell?
As soon as the camera points toward the cabinets, one of the doors can be seen slowly opening on its own, just a few inches, before gently closing again. Christian freezes, speaking in disbelief as it keeps happening, almost like something testing whether it's being watched. The second he steps closer, the movement stops completely. He reaches out, pulls the cabinet open fully, and shows the inside is empty. No pets, no loose hinges, nothing that could explain it. The knocking doesn't return, but the silence that follows feels even worse. Christian later said this was the moment he realized the sounds weren't random at all, and whatever was in his kitchen only moved when it thought it was alone. Andos was home alone late at night, sitting at his computer when he heard a strange noise coming from somewhere outside his room. At first, it sounded almost like a voice, muffled and distant, the kind of noise you can convince yourself is just a neighbor or something outside. Still, it unsettled him enough that he grabbed his phone and started recording. He steps outside for a moment, scanning the area, then comes back in and slowly walks through the house, checking room after room to prove nothing's there. Everything seems normal, quiet again, almost embarrassingly so. But when he finally enters his parents' bedroom, that calm evaporates. As soon as he steps inside, the wardrobe door ahead of him begins to open on its own, slowly creaking outward, as if someone inside was pushing it. Andos freezes, then backs away, clearly panicking as the door opens with no one near it. He insists nobody else was in the house, and there was no draft strong enough to cause it. After that night, he said he stopped staying in that room altogether, convinced whatever made that noise earlier was waiting for him to come back. In this next clip from the YouTube channel Fourth Wall, which currently has over 268,000 subscribers and focuses entirely on paranormal investigations, the person behind the camera captures a moment that viewers still argue about. He's slowly filming a miniature 3D model on a table that resembles traditional Asian architecture, carefully panning the camera, but he feels heavy and uncomfortable. As he steps closer to the model, something unsettling happens off to his left. A small Buddha statue suddenly tips over and falls straight to the ground without being touched. The sound cuts through the room, instantly changing the mood. He freezes, then turns the camera to show there's nothing near it that could have caused the fall. No vibration, no movement, no one else present. What makes this moment even more disturbing to viewers is the symbolism. Many believe that if a presence is strong enough to knock over a religious figure, especially one associated with peace and protection, it could suggest whatever is there doesn't belong or doesn't want it to be acknowledged. After the clip, the creator admitted the atmosphere in the room felt colder and heavier, and he ended the investigation shortly after. Whether coincidence or something darker, this moment is one of the reasons Fourth Wall continues to trend in the paranormal community. Subscribe as this story will be continuing. In the following video, the man recording keeps the camera steady, zooming slightly as the movement behind the curtain becomes harder to ignore. The shadow paces back and forth with a clear, human-like shape, its head and shoulders briefly outlined as it passes the thin fabric again and again.
Hey, qué pedo. Mamen, si ven eso. Qué verga. Y, o sea, lo cagado es que estoy en un segundo piso.
After a few seconds, he musters the courage to pull the curtain aside, half expecting someone to be standing there, but the space is completely empty. To make things even stranger, he leans out and angles the camera through the window, showing the outside clearly. There's nobody below, no one walking past, no possible reflection. The most bizarre part is that he was on the second floor, meaning whatever cast that shadow couldn't have been outside in the first place. The curtain hangs still now, as if nothing ever moved behind it. The clip ends with him standing there in silence, trying to process how something could walk back and forth behind a curtain without ever actually being there. A woman was out walking her Labrador along a quiet trail, filming casually as the dog kept pulling hard toward the woods, unusually fixated on something off the path. She laughs it off at first, assuming the dog just caught a scent, but the way it keeps resisting and staring makes her turn the camera in that direction.
Come on, Bruce. What's up? Come on. Oi. Come on. Bruce. Come on.
As she pans toward the trees, a faint, human-shaped figure can be seen standing just inside the tree line, partially obscured by shadow and distance. It's easy to miss in real time, and she doesn't react at all, continuing the walk. A few moments later, as the dog pulls again and she films the same area, the figure appears once more, this time slipping behind the nearest tree as if it's actively trying not to be seen. The movement is slow and deliberate, not like an animal. She walks on completely unaware, but she later pointed out the figure frame by frame when editing the video. Paired with the dog's sudden, intense behavior, many believe whatever was watching her knew exactly what it was doing and chose to stay hidden. In the upcoming clip, Manuel is exploring an abandoned school late at night, a place he's convinced is haunted after hearing about unexplained activity there for years. The building is silent except for his footsteps echoing through the empty halls as he films, slowly making his way toward the area where most of the reports seem to come from. The further he goes, the heavier the atmosphere feels, like the air itself is tense.
Para que vean que no es inventado, o sea, no tengo ningún otro dispositivo. La bocina la tengo aquí, o sea, no hay otro medio, estoy grabando con mi teléfono, un único teléfono. Y nuevamente escuché ruidos. Maldita sea. Nuevamente escuché ruidos, Esta vez ya no es un niño. No mames. ¡Ey! ¿Quién está ahí? No seas mamón. Ay, no seas mamón. Estoy completamente solo y...
As he approaches a hallway near the bathrooms, a strange high-pitched sound begins to ring out, faint at first, but sharp enough to make him stop in his tracks. He follows it, the noise guiding him straight to a bathroom on the left. As he gets closer, the sound shifts into something worse, a quiet, drawn-out wail that sends chills through him. Manuel steps inside, whispering "hey" into the darkness as the wail suddenly grows much louder, echoing off the tiled walls. He starts checking each stall one by one, showing they're all empty, but the moment he finishes, the sound abruptly stops. A second later, the wailing resumes again, this time coming from deeper inside the school, far beyond the bathroom he's standing in. Manuel freezes, realizing whatever made that sound wasn't trapped in one room at all, and it was moving. Part 2 picks up immediately where the last clip left off, and this time there's no mistaking how intense things have become. The noise is now incredibly loud, echoing from deep within the building, no longer distant or faint. It sounds unmistakably like a woman in pain, a long, strained wailing that fills the halls and makes the walls vibrate.
Güey, ¿qué pedo? No mames. No mames, y justamente en el baño de... ¿Quién está ahí? No, no mames. ¿Quién está ahí? ¿Qué pedo? Es que... Esto ya no es normal, neta, ya no es normal. Ay, no mames, se sintió algo bien cabrón esta parte de aquí. No mames, clarito se está escuchando. ¡Ey, salga! Es que no. Güey, ¿qué pedo? O sea, ella está aquí. Sacó. ¿Y quién está ahí? ¿Quién está ahí? No mames, qué putas me metí, cabrón. Hola. Hola. Ay, no mames, no, ya no hay. No hay nadie. Ya no se escuchó nada. Rayos.
As Manuel stands frozen, the bathroom stall doors in front of him begin to open one by one on their own. It's very quick, as if something unseen is pushing them from the inside. That's enough to force him to retreat backward into the hallway, breathing heavy as the sound drags on longer than ever before. Just when it finally cuts out, he cautiously steps forward again, but the second he reaches the bathroom entrance, the scream erupts once more, even louder. He later claims all of this was happening around 3 in the morning. Unsure what to do, Manuel stays where he is as the cries continue, bouncing around the building and making it impossible to pinpoint the source. He decides to check the men's bathroom to the right, but as he films inside, it becomes clear the noise isn't coming from there at all. Suddenly, it shifts again, pulling him back toward the women's bathroom, where it now sounds less like screaming and more like someone violently gagging or vomiting behind the walls. Moments later, the agonizing screams return at full volume. Manuel calls out "Hola" several times, his voice shaky, but there's no response. Then, for the longest stretch so far, everything goes completely silent. Taking that as his chance, he slowly backs away, never turning his back, before finally leaving the building altogether. Whatever was inside didn't follow him out, but the sounds he captured were more than enough to convince him never to return. Thomas had already been dealing with strange noises in the house for weeks, but this was the first time he decided to actually record anything. Late one night, convinced the sounds were coming from above him, he grabbed his phone, climbed up to the attic entrance. The footage shows him pulling the attic door open and shining his light into the darkness, calling out hello several times, half joking and half genuinely nervous. The attic is completely unlit, stretching out farther than expected, filled with old boxes and shadows that seem to swallow the beam of his torch. Take a look.
Thought I heard something. Whoa, what is it? Hello? Hello? Oh God!
A few steps in, the camera suddenly jolts as Thomas freezes. At the far end of the attic, barely visible, a dark humanoid shape stands motionless, darker than the shadows around it. It doesn't move, but the longer he looks, the clearer it becomes that it isn't just an object. Panic sets in instantly. Thomas spins around and bolts back toward the stairs, breathing hard as the footage turns chaotic. The camera cuts out shortly after, once he reaches the hallway below and has to stop to catch his breath. After the incident, Thomas explained how difficult it was convincing his parents that what he saw was real. They initially brushed it off as nerves or imagination, but after hearing the recording and noticing that the attic noises didn't stop, they finally took it seriously. The family ended up barricading the attic door completely, stacking furniture beneath it and sealing it shut. Thomas says the sounds have quieted since then, but he refuses to go anywhere near that part of the house again. Whatever he saw up there was enough to change everyone's mind. Athena was on vacation at Myrtle Beach when she decided to record a quick video from her balcony, mostly just panning the camera around to show the ocean, the boardwalk, and the people below. She's calm the entire time, sounding relaxed and completely unaware that something else is happening behind her, until she pans the camera.
Beautiful Myrtle Beach.
As Athena slowly turns the camera back toward the sliding glass door that leads inside her hotel room, something incredibly disturbing appears for just a moment. Behind the sheer curtain, a strange girl peeks out from the side, only her face visible in a quick, stiff motion before she pulls back out of sight. The figure doesn't move naturally, and its face looks real, but uncanny at the same time. What makes the whole thing even more unsettling is Athena has no reaction whatsoever. She keeps recording like nothing happened, clearly seeing the girl, but likely entering freeze mode. Viewers pointed out that no one else was supposed to be in her room, and whatever that was standing behind the curtain definitely wasn't a normal person. A group of 4 friends were having a casual sleepover, hanging out late into the night while one of them had already knocked out on the sofa. The guy recording was just messing around with his phone, filming another friend who was standing in the kitchen grabbing snacks. Nothing unusual at first, just normal sleepover energy. That's until something crazy happened. Take a look.
Aí, fim da festa aí, pessoal. Comprei a câmera nova, vamos colocar um vídeo no YouTube aí, ó.
Ai, que vergonha, não faz isso.
A Josi capotada já, com sono. Aí, Thiago, a câmera que eu comprei nova aí.
Bebeu demais.
Vermelhinha e tal. Vocês nem esperaram pra festa aí, né, mano? Meu Deus do céu, que porra é essa, velho? Mano, eu vi alguma coisa aqui, Thiago. Tem alguma coisa que passou aqui, velho.
Ih, velho.
Tô falando sério, cara. Tô falando sério. Vem aqui comigo, cara.
Tem nada aqui não.
Eu vi uma coisa assim, cara.
Tá louco, mano?
Maluco. Maluco. Eu vou voltar a câmera. Eu vou voltar a câmera e você vai ver, velho.
As the camera focuses on the friend in the kitchen, something unexpected happens in the background. Behind him, a human-shaped figure glides across from one side to the other. It doesn't walk so much as it moves, too smoothly, almost like it was floating rather than stepping. The person filming immediately pans around to check, but there's nobody there at all. Every person who should have been in the house is accounted for, including the one who jumped up from their sleep. The movement was too fluid, too silent, and too fast to be any of them. Whatever that figure was, it wasn't a friend sneaking around. It was something else entirely, and everyone watching the footage agreed it looked anything but human. In the following video, Keisha was lying in bed with her baby girl, Emma, trying to settle her down for an afternoon nap. She had her phone propped up, casually recording the moment as she softly sang a lullaby, while Emma played with a little hairbrush in her tiny hand. The room was calm and warm, with both of them feeling nice about the moment, but then a shift happened.
Ah! Sorry. Qué linda manita que tiene la bebé. Qué linda, qué bella, qué preciosa es. Come on, do it. Do the hand thing. Qué linda, qué... Good. You do it.
Emma is looking up at her mom, both confused and content, when the hairbrush suddenly yanks downward out of her hand in a way no baby that age could pull on their own. It drops sharply to the mattress, and Emma's eyes dart down, surprised. Throughout the moment, several orbs drift across the screen, small and bright, moving almost intentionally. Keisha keeps singing, completely unaware anything strange just happened, assuming her daughter simply dropped it. But when she watched the footage back later, she immediately realized the brush didn't fall naturally at all. It was pulled. She uploaded the clip after noticing how the orbs appeared at the exact same time, convinced that something unseen had been right there beside them while she was trying to put her daughter to sleep. Suspicious of a paranormal presence in the house, a woman was casually filming someone sitting on the couch in their living room, just recording a normal moment without expecting anything strange to happen at all. The person on the couch is relaxed, scrolling on their phone, and everything in the room seems completely quiet and normal. Then something in the background shifts in a way that is hard to explain. Right over the person's shoulders into the frame, almost like something quickly darted across the space behind them. The woman holding the camera reacts instantly, gasping as she rushes forward and grabs the camera, hoping nothing else would follow up. There is no one else in the room, no pets, no shadows that could have caused it, but the movement was unmistakable. It happened close enough to the person on the couch that if something was there, it was right behind them. After reviewing the footage later, she realized how unnerving it actually was, and the fact that it moved so close without either of them noticing makes the moment even more chilling. Michelle was filming again with her phone, sitting a few feet from a small decorative paper dragon hanging on the wall. She'd been dealing with activity for a while and decided to ask whatever was in the house to move something, hoping to finally catch undeniable proof. At first, the paper dragon only shook a little, swaying in these tiny movements that could have been written off as airflow, and Michelle even said she wasn't convinced by that alone.
Well, I picked up Trevor before you did.
Yeah, but it might not be him moving it.
Oh, I see.
Is it Trevor moving it? Move it again. You'll have to do better than that.
God. Did you see that one? You know, do it again. I saw it. Can you have a replay?
Okay. You have to do better than that. Thank you.
God. I know what it is, it's the clock.
No, the clock's not working.
Oh God, is it working?
Thank you very much. So that is you then, Trevor?
Yeah, it is. Did you see it move?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Can you do anything else?
What's it down now?
Without any warning, the dragon suddenly jolted in a sharp, deliberate motion, snapping sideways hard enough that Michelle and her sister both gasped at the exact same time. Their reactions were instant and completely genuine, immediately backing away from it as Michelle asked out loud if it was Trevor, her husband who had passed, trying to get through to them. There was no answer, no voice, no follow-up movement, but the single violent jolt was enough to shake both of them. Even in the silence afterward, the atmosphere in the room felt heavy, like someone else was standing there just out of frame, listening but choosing not to reveal more. A little kid was being filmed in the living room, while his dad tried to capture a cute moment. But the clip ended up being anything but cute. Everything is normal at first, until music suddenly starts playing from somewhere. Not loud, but just eerie enough to catch the kid's attention.
A ver. ¿Qué carajo? Mames. Quédate, hijo, quédate. No mames. Amor. No me lo vas a creer.
He slowly turns his head toward the door, and in the glass panel on it, you can clearly see movement behind the glass, like a person shifting or walking past. The kid's eyes go wide and he keeps staring, confused and a little scared. His dad instantly reacts, before rushing outside to check who or what could have been standing there. But once he gets outside, there is nothing. No footsteps, no shadows, no signs of anyone walking past the door at all. Whatever appeared behind that glass wasn't a real person, and the kid definitely sensed it before the adult did. The upcoming clip is very disturbing, and a small group is gathered around an extremely unsettling doll, dressed in a long white gown. Something they had been investigating because of reports that it could move on its own. At first, they're simply holding its hands and supporting it as they walk it slowly up and down the sidewalk, almost like they're testing whether the movements are intentional or mechanical. The creepy part is how naturally its legs move, lifting and stepping with perfect rhythm, more precise than anything a simple prop should be able to do. Its joints bend smoothly, ligaments shifting in a way that looks disturbingly lifelike for a doll. They eventually decide to stop assisting it and let go of its arms completely.
Y con las dos manos sí caminó, ¿verdad? Con usted. ¿Y nunca se le ha salido?
Se asoma por la ventana. Cuando yo me salgo a un mandado que no hay nadie. La tengo en mi cuarto y otra cuando está en lado.
Ajá.
¿En la ventana o en otro lado?
No, la estiro y no.
¿Qué onda, Fabián?
Se hace dura, mira.
A ver, ¿qué más?
Mira. Espérame. Ahorita para que la señora la agárrala, no pasa nada.
Agárrala, hijo.
Mira, agárrala.
Mira, 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 mira. Mira. ¿Ya viste? Nomás con su dueña. Mira, ya dio la vuelta. Es aquí en Saltillo. Agárrala de... ¡Ay, la con Eder sí quiso! No, ya no va a querer. Con Eder, con Yair camina poquito. Con él camina poquito.
¿Qué se siente? Nada.
Fíjese que... Entonces cuando no está usted, ella se asoma.
Sí. A veces que vengo a la tienda, otros días a un señor y a una señora, y a varios, aquí esperándome.
Ajá.
Y usted la vio en la muñeca, sí. Dice, pues mire, su muñeca está asomando por la ventana. Y que me va a cambiar. Es que la dejo en mi cuarto, como se acuesta conmigo, ahí la dejo. Y yo me salgo, y ya para cuando pienso la encuentro en otro lado, o en otro cuarto, o así, por la ventana.
Pero eso se debe a lo que dice que...
The group steps back, half laughing and half terrified, but the moment their hands leave, it is the moment everything feels wrong. The doll twitches, one leg shifting slightly forward like it's trying to take another step, even without anyone touching it. Nobody can deny what they just saw. The group stares in silence, slowly backing away from it, realizing they may have been guiding something that didn't really need their help to move at all. The man in the upcoming video appeared to be working an early shift and was sitting inside what looked like an indoor forklift, breathing heavily and sounding genuinely distressed as he started recording the rear mirror in front of him. He had been hearing things around the back of the complex and finally decided to see if he could catch whatever it was.
¿Qué onda? Ando aquí acomodando unas tarimas en el monte y desde hace rato siento como que algo se asoma de allá atrás. A ver si lo alcanzo a grabar. Mira. ¡Ah, la verga! Mira. ¡Ah! No mames, sí se vio. ¡Ah, la verga! Pero no hay nadie. Aquí adentro estoy yo solo.
As he slowly began reversing the forklift, the mirror suddenly caught something that made him gasp. A black figure, there but not fully solid, almost like a shadow, ducked behind a stack of pallets the moment the vehicle moved. He froze for a second before stepping out with the camera pointed straight ahead, while calling out to see if anyone was there. He walked all the way toward the back where the thing had been, showing every corner and every open space, but there was nothing at all. No footsteps, no shadows, no place for anything to hide. The fact that the figure was only visible through the mirror made the whole moment even stranger, and his panicked breathing made it clear he knew he had just seen something he was never supposed to. A woman had been exploring an ancient chateau for a research project, and one night she decided to leave a camera running in the boot room to see if the strange things she'd been sensing were real. The next day, she brought the footage to her friend and colleague, Ted, to show him what she'd captured, walking him through every moment as the clip played. She explains on camera what she's doing, steps out of the room, and closes the heavy wooden door with the latch set firmly in place before the automatic sensor light clicks off behind her. What happens next is truly mental.
All of the footage that I have, that I left the camera overnight in the boot room to try and catch the mouse. We didn't catch the mouse. There was no mouse last night. I'm gonna leave the camera out there over the next week and see if I can catch this blooming mouse. I'm just so that I can prove I'm not going mad. However, there is something else we did catch. And yeah, I'm going to go and get Ted to come and watch the footage and see what he thinks. And I'm not going to say anything to him, and you can watch at the same time. Yeah, let's just watch the footage, and then we'll see what you think, and see if you think the same as what I think. Come sit here, baby.
Okay. What are we looking at?
Right, so let me start playing. So this is from last night. This is me setting the camera up. So I'll set the camera up so you can see the hole in the corner. Can you see it? Hope you can see it. Anyway, I'm off to bed. It's very late. So we'll see whether we catch this mouse out in the morning. And then Ted will have to believe me that there is something running above their bedroom. I'll see you all in the morning. Good night. Now, you heard me put the latch on the door there.
Yeah, it sounded like it, yeah.
Okay, so the sensor light's gone out.
Right.
So I'm going to forward this bit because it's about 2 hours, well, it is 2 hours, 27 minutes into filming last night. Now, we went to bed about midnight.
Yeah.
So this would be about 2:30. This happens. Now, you heard the latch go off the door.
Yeah.
And that's the light coming on.
The motion sensor light.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, what? There's shadow there?
Yeah.
Yes, I can see a shadow moving across it.
Yeah. Keep watching.
Oh my God. What? That's got to be an animal or something, isn't it?
That was a big shadow for an animal.
How? You can't.
How can an animal get up?
You can't have put the latch on properly.
I put the latch on because you heard the latch go on.
Yeah.
And you heard the latch come off.
I didn't actually hear the latch come off, but you know.
Right, let me play that again. You hear the latch?
Right, yeah.
The door open. Now, to push that door open, that's the heavy door, you've got to push it inwards. So somebody's got to be standing there to be able to open that door.
Yeah.
And there's nobody standing there.
And I've never known that door swing open on its own.
No. And the other thing is, the camera is up on a tripod. So to move it in a tilt, like it's tilted up, something has moved. It hasn't moved the tripod because the tripod would fall over. It's had to move the camera.
Oh, that's... I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's the shadow that got me than anything. The shadow walk... I don't get it.
That's weird, isn't it?
I don't
That
get
is
it.
just
I don't
bonkers.
get it.
Now, we get asked all the time, over the years we've been here, every single person I think that has come in here has always asked, do you have ghosts in the chateau?
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah, they have, yeah.
After fast-forwarding through a long, quiet stretch, the boot room door suddenly opens itself even though nobody is anywhere near it. A moment later, the sensor light snaps back on, which only happens when something moves inside that space. As they watch closely, a shadow glides across the floor, faint but undeniably there, like a figure passing in front of the light. Then, without anything touching it, the camera tilts upward on its own, angling toward the ceiling as if something invisible had grabbed it. Ted sits there in complete disbelief as she replays the moment. But there's no denying what happened. Something was inside that room with her equipment that night. Something that wasn't supposed to be there, and the evidence couldn't be explained away. In the following video, a CCTV camera overlooking a quiet backyard captures something incredibly strange late at night, right around 9:45. The footage begins with the family dog standing near the edge of the lawn, barking non-stop at what seems to be absolutely nothing. There's no movement, no animals, nothing in the yard that should be getting its attention, yet the dog won't stop growling in one direction like it's seeing something no one else can. Out of nowhere, a shadowy shape suddenly darts across the yard. It moves fast, low to the ground, and completely silent, almost like a dark outline running on all fours, before disappearing behind the fence and out of sight. What makes it even stranger is the dog's reaction. Its head follows the figure perfectly, barking and tracking it the entire time as if it was completely real and right there. Nothing else shows up on camera, and there's no explanation for a solid shadow moving like that. Some people think it might have been a stray animal, but the shape doesn't match anything normal. Others believe it was a ghost dog or some kind of spirit animal crossing the yard. Whatever it was, it clearly wasn't something the camera should have been able to pick up, yet it did. A pair of girls exploring their parents' bedroom decided to film a video because the house is up for sale, and they're convinced something inside it is still very paranormally active. They both turn on their flashlights and night vision, slowly scanning around the room while telling stories about past things that had happened in there, the kind of stories that made them uneasy even now. The bedroom is quiet at first, too quiet, until a sudden knock echoes from the far side of the room, making them immediately press their backs against the wall. They both quietly ask if it can knock again, clearly hoping nothing happens. Eventually, though, it listens.
Okay, hey guys. I know it's not a comedy video, but this is one of our more serious videos. Well, we're in Caroline's house right now, and we're in her parents' bedroom. This house has been up for quite a while.
Time,
yeah, it's very old, and her parents and her and think there's some paranormal activity going on in here.
Hold on, I'm trying to...
And so, we want to kind of see if we can get stuff and try to talk to the thing. I don't know what it is. So
well, we're guessing it's like a ghost.
We're gonna record it, and we're gonna. I'm kind of scared in here.
Yeah.
And
but yeah, for a few hours, we're actually gonna be ghost hunters. So
yeah, we're gonna be ghost hunters. I'm scared.
I know.
Okay.
Gonna be quite an adventure.
Okay, so here we go. Let's go.
Okay, let's try this stuff.
Oh my god, I'm scared. Okay,
I'm following you.
Okay. Go in first. No, go in first. Film in here.
Like one time.
What's that?
I don't know.
Never mind. I guess I'm.
Okay, so like one time, right over there, the bookshelf. Like my parents were sleeping and something fell, and they don't know what it was and everything, and so we were like trying to explain it for like quite some time, but we couldn't, and it's like really scary. So let's try to like do something with the bookshelf. I don't know what to do exactly, but we can maybe like call the spirit and kind of like tease it. Like,
oh my god! Oh my god, Caroline.
Did you hear
Should
that?
we not do this right now?
No, let's do it. Okay.
Oh my god.
Did you hear that?
Oh no.
It was like knocking.
I don't know. I'm scared. Okay, I'm gonna put my back against the wall because. Okay.
No, I heard knocking though.
Okay, you see this. Put your hands up. Okay.
Okay, ready?
We're holding the camera with our arm, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm holding the camera with this arm. Okay, so if there's a ghost in here, knock. Oh my god. Oh my god. Maybe that could have been your brother or sister. I'm crying. Okay, that could have been your brother or sister. But, I'm like
Okay. Ready?
So let's try that again. Maybe it just happened to be a coincidence. Okay. If there's a ghost in here,
knock twice.
Knock. Yeah, knock twice. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think I'm gonna leave. Finish. No, wait. One more thing. Okay, one thing.
No. Okay.
If there's a ghost in here, and I'm pretty sure there is, then, oh my god. knock as close as you can to us.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Shh, shh, shh. Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, no.
I think I'm done.
No. We have to do this.
Okay.
We have to do this.
Oh my god.
So,
let's listen for
some sounds like footsteps or just regular sounds. We'll just listen.
And we have our hands up. Put your hands up.
Oh.
And she's holding the camera.
Yeah, I'm holding the camera. Look at my arm. See that?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Is that a book?
Oh my god, that was a book.
The book just fell off the shelf.
That book just fell off the shelf, I swear to god.
Oh my god, what's the noise?
Okay, so we're gonna listen
that
from
book
noises.
was really scary.
Yeah, that book was
really
weird.
scary.
I had never really witnessed
You hear that?
before.
Film over there.
Where? Wait, hold on.
I don't know.
Shh. Let me hear.
Oh my god, what is that?
Oh my god, it sounds like there's something moving on the carpet.
What is it? I can't see. It's black.
Wait, look.
Oh my god, the book's moving.
Brianna, the book's moving.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Shh. Should we leave?
Brianna,
oh my god.
It's coming closer to us, Brianna.
Shh. It stopped.
Should I grab it?
No.
Should we grab it?
Do you think that it has to do with what's the title? What book?
Title of the book?
I'm scared.
I'm scared. I know. Wait, where is it?
It's right there.
Wait, let me zoom.
Just yeah. Can you guys read that?
What does that say?
I don't know. What's on it?
I don't know, but it's scary looking.
Oh my god! There's something in the closet. Oh my god!
The knock happens again, louder this time. Nervous but desperate to know if it's real, they ask for 2 knocks instead, and sure enough, 2 sharp taps hit the wall like something was responding directly to them. The final test is what pushes them into full panic. They ask it to knock as close to them as it can, barely finishing the sentence before a loud knock hits right beside them, so close it almost sounds like it came from the wall they were leaning on. They get visibly frightened and start backing away, and as they do, a book suddenly falls from the bookshelf with no one near it. Whatever is in that house didn't just hear them. It listened and answered exactly as asked, pretty much confirming for them that the place really is haunted. Two men were hanging out inside a house late at night when they both heard something moving in the hallway, so one of them pulled out his phone and started recording to prove they weren't imagining things. At first, the footage is quiet, just the two of them whispering and trying to figure out where the noise came from, until they spot a door at the end of the hall, slowly shutting on its own, like someone was gently pushing it closed from the other side.
Hola. No mames, güey, hasta huele raro, güey. ¡Ay! Mami, la puerta. No seas mamón, Chris. A ver. A ver, güey. Güey, chistaron, güey. No mames. A ver, explícame esto.
They both inch toward it, the guy with the camera staying behind his friend as the door creeps almost fully shut before they finally reach it. The first man hesitates, waiting to see if it'll stop or open again, but nothing happens, so he places his hand on it and pushes it open in one slow motion. The room behind it is empty. There's no one inside, no draft, no windows open, nothing that could have caused it to move at all. The two of them stand there in silence, staring into the empty doorway while the house stays completely still, almost like whatever closed that door didn't want to be seen. They're back filming again, this time in the kitchen, because after the door incident they both agreed they weren't done documenting whatever was happening in that house. They try to act normal, talking quietly and checking corners, when something at the far end of the room catches their attention.
Mucha atención a lo que está a punto de suceder con el adorno en esta casa del Poltergeist.
De las niñas, vengan por acá, güey. Pues así sí está perro, güey. La neta hay que estar en este rollo, güey. Y sí se siente pesadísimo, güey. Muy pesadísimo. ¡Ay,
¡No
cabrón!
mames!
¿Sí viste, güey?
No te pases de lanza, güey.
¿Sí vieron, güey? ¿Quién se cayó?
No mames.
güey. ¿Qué se cayó, güey? ¿Qué se cayó, güey? No mames. Ah, la madre. Yo, ¿sabes que me asusté, güey? Pensé que era una...
Through an empty interior window that looks into the next room, a dark face suddenly rises into view for a split second, like someone slowly peeked up from below the frame before dropping out of sight again. The two men freeze instantly, whispering to each other in disbelief as they walk closer to check behind it. But when they lean over the counter and look into the next room, there's nothing. No furniture someone could hide behind, no shadows lining up with anything. No way someone could have ducked out of sight that quickly. The window frame is completely open, empty on both sides. The way that face appeared then vanished gives the same feeling as the door shutting earlier, like something in that house is watching them back and only showing itself when it wants to. Eugene was home alone at around 2 in the morning, his girlfriend staying over at her parents' place, leaving him as the only person in the apartment. He walks into the corridor with his camera, already anxious because he swears he's been hearing someone calling him by his nickname from somewhere in the dark. Take a look.
Eu achei que tinha parado, mas eu acabei de voltar de viagem. O negócio ainda tá acontecendo, mano. Velho, por que é sempre desse quarto? Caralho.
Aqui?
Não tá, velho, não tá. Toda vez. Cara. Não é possível, velho. Velho, na moral, mano. Não faz sentido, mano. Caralho. Mano, não tem como não, cara. Toda vez é uma coisa, parça. Puta que pariu, meu irmão.
As he films, the voice becomes clearer, almost as if it's getting closer to him with every passing second. Suddenly he hears movement coming from one of the rooms off the corridor, followed by the door slowly opening on its own. Eugene hesitates, but eventually forces himself to step inside, sweeping the camera across the empty room. There's nothing, no one hiding, no windows open, no sign that anyone had been in there. But the second he walks deeper inside, the door swings shut behind him, trapping him in there for a moment. He panics and sprints out of the room, breathing hard as he makes it back into the hallway. The clip ends shortly after, but Eugene later stated that he didn't stop running until he was fully out of the apartment. Whatever was calling his name that night wasn't human, and it definitely didn't want him there. Still shaken from the first encounter, Eugene starts filming again in the same dim corridor, breathing heavily as he tries to steady himself. He explains that things haven't calmed down at all, and he's now hearing a different voice, one that clearly sounds female. At first, it's faint, almost like it's coming from far down the hall, so Eugene slowly takes a few steps toward the sound, keeping the camera aimed straight ahead in case anything moves. As he gets closer, the voice suddenly echoes again, this time much louder and unmistakably right behind him, almost as if someone whispered directly into his ear. Eugene spins around instantly, shaking, but the corridor is completely empty. Before he can process what just happened, the sound of footsteps erupts from behind him, fast and heavy, sprinting toward him even though nobody is there. Eugene gasps and darts into the nearest doorway, hiding inside the small room with the camera trembling in his hands. The footage stops right as he enters. He later explained that he stayed there frozen, not daring to breathe too loudly, realizing whatever he heard wasn't trying to scare him by accident. It knew exactly where he was. Ian the ghost hunter is back again, and if you remember his previous encounter inside that old factory, this new footage is a direct continuation of that same investigation. Earlier that night, he claimed the activity deeper in the building felt heavier than usual, so he decided to explore one of the rooms he hadn't checked before. He walks into a large storage space completely filled with mannequins, all standing in random poses with their faces warped and distorted from age and heat damage. Ian mentions on camera that he's never liked rooms like this, and you can tell he's nervous but forces himself to speak out.
Did you just move one of these mannequins? Could you move one right now? Any one of these. No. Oh. Dude! That thing just freaking started rocking! Oh, no. Are you freaking serious? It had to be like one of the freakiest looking ones, too. It looks freaking demented. Oh, God. One of the ones back there moved. I freaking just heard that. Are these mannequins possessed? She just moved. She more than moved. She slid forward.
Suddenly, one of the mannequins begins rocking back and forth on its own. This is easily one of the freakiest things I've ever witnessed.
He raises his voice slightly and asks if whatever spirit is in the building can move one of the mannequins just to prove it's listening. For a moment, nothing happens, and then one of them slowly shifts to the side. Ian almost drops his flashlight. Suddenly, that same mannequin starts rocking back and forth, as if someone was pushing it from behind. Before he can even process it, another mannequin across the room jerks slightly. Ian's breathing gets shaky, but he continues speaking, asking if the mannequins are possessed. As soon as the words leave his mouth, yet another mannequin moves, barely but undeniably. All of them stay completely still afterward, their distorted faces visible at him in the dim light, making the entire room feel alive in the worst possible way. Ian eventually steps back into the hallway, saying this might be the most unsettling room he has ever investigated. In the following piece of footage, taken from a Toddler monitor late at night, a parent captures something that still hasn't been explained. The camera is pointed directly at the crib, showing a close-up of their toddler sleeping peacefully. Nothing unusual at first. The room is dim, lit only by the soft glow of the baby cam, and the house is completely quiet.
What the f is that? That's so weird. Oh! I'll kill you, son of a...
If you look closely, right beside the toddler, another head can clearly be seen resting in the crib. It looks like a second child, partially obscured, facing the camera. Moments later, the figure slightly shifts its small hand as it moves, just enough to confirm it isn't a shadow or camera glitch. The man watching the monitor panics and immediately runs toward the bedroom, still filming as he calls out. When he reaches the crib, there's nothing there at all. The room is dark, the toddler is alone, and there's no possible way another child could have been there unnoticed. After the recording ends, he insists he checked every corner of the room and the house, but found no sign of anyone else. The footage has since got many views, with many people questioning whether the camera picked up a glitch, a reflection, or something far more unsettling watching over the child that night. Andre, a young man living alone, explained that strange noises around his house were never something he really paid attention to, until one night when things escalated fast. He was sitting at his keyboard, casually practicing an impressive piece, completely focused, when a sudden clattering sound cuts through the music. He stops playing instantly, and then strange things start to happen.
Hallo?
The sound clearly didn't come from the keyboard, so he sets it down and walks into the kitchen to investigate. On the floor, a pillow from the living room is lying awkwardly, along with several other items that look like they've been knocked down all at once. As he starts picking them up, something happens behind him. A loud sliding noise echoes from the other room, and at the same time, a few keys on his keyboard press themselves, playing random notes with no one touching it. Andre slowly turns back toward the keyboard, his breathing getting heavier as he realizes the mess has spread. The trash bin has completely tipped over, spilling everything across the floor. Then it gets worse. From the living room, a sound that almost resembles a woman's voice can be heard, faint but distinct, followed by the TV turning itself on. The screen glitches with static, lagging unnaturally, before suddenly shutting off on its own. Just seconds later, the door near Andre slams violently, making him jump as the footage cuts out. Whatever caused that surge of activity came on all at once, and judging by his panic, it was the last thing he expected when he sat down to play music. Late one night, Jake was filming when he ran into his sister's bedroom holding a bottle of hot sauce, clearly not expecting anything unusual to happen. The camera swings toward the bed as he laughs, but his tone changes almost immediately when something strange catches his eye. Sitting right beside his sister is a teddy bear, and as soon as he speaks, it slowly tips over on its own. Jake reacts first, telling her the teddy just fell, but she barely looks up and calmly asks, "What?" as if nothing happened. That's when something crazy happens though. Take a look.
Alright, follow the hot sauce or say something embarrassing. Follow the bear just moved.
What?
Oh my god!
That's when things escalate fast. Without anyone touching it, the teddy suddenly jerks and slides unnaturally toward the middle of the bed. It doesn't fall naturally or roll. It looks pushed, almost like something invisible forced it forward in a single, deliberate movement. The shift is quick, aggressive, and completely out of place. Both of them instantly panic, yelling as Jake pulls the camera back. There's no laughter anymore, no explanation offered, just raw fear. They scramble off the bed and run out of the room as the footage cuts abruptly. Afterward, viewers pointed out how unnatural the movement was, especially compared to the first fall. Jake later claimed neither of them touched the teddy and that nothing like that had ever happened in that room before, making this clip one of the most unsettling moments they've ever caught on camera. There's a lot of scary things you can find in your garden, but this exceeds all of them. Joseph was outside late at night, standing in his backyard and filming because he said something had been watching him from the far edge of the property for several nights in a row. At first, it's hard to make out what he's talking about, just trees in the distance, but his breathing already sounds tense, like he knows exactly where to point the camera. Eventually, he zooms in on it and passes the fear to us all.
Look, dude, she couldn't find her way over there, so now she's over here. She's back in here trying to find a way into my property. You see her? Look at that face. Oh my god. It's right there staring at me. Dude, how scary is that shit? Oh my god, dude. What the f? She's crawling through all this shit, bro.
As the footage continues, a pale, unnaturally still face becomes visible deep in the garden, staring directly toward him without moving. It doesn't blink, doesn't shift, just stays there in a way that feels completely wrong. Halfway through the clip, a faint glowing orb appears near the face and drifts outward, almost as if it's coming from it. Joseph reacts immediately, stepping back and narrating in disbelief, sounding more exhausted than surprised, like this isn't the first time it's happened. He doesn't chase it or get closer. He just keeps filming, clearly shaken. After posting the video, Joseph explained that the face has appeared multiple times in the opposite end of the garden, always watching, never approaching. Some people say it could be a trick of the light or an animal, but the consistency of the face, the orb, and Joseph's reaction make this one hard to brush off. Whatever was out there didn't seem lost. It seemed like it knew exactly where it was and what fear it was instilling. In this next story, a man who had been working the night shift at a hotel for several years explains the creepiest thing that's ever happened to him on the job. He says he'd never experienced anything paranormal there before, which is why this moment completely shook him.
So I've been working at a hotel for, a couple years now. And I've never had anything like this happen. And I'm borderline freaked out, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm sitting down here at the front desk, right? And I'm on the computer and I'm just typing away. Phone rings. I don't look at the phone. I just answer it. And, I say my whole little spiel or whatever. And it's just silent. The phone is just silent. After about, 3 or 4 seconds, I say hello again. Nothing. And right before I go to hang up, it sounds like I'm hearing somebody just like breathing on the other line. I just hang up and I'm like, okay, whatever. I ain't thinking twice about it. But then I go and look at the caller ID and let me show y'all something. All right. That's the room that called. Okay. Peep that. 505. Now let me show y'all something. I'm gonna go over here to the elevator so y'all know I'm not bullshitting. And I'm gonna turn the camera around. How many floors do you see here? Because I'm pretty sure we don't have a room 505 nor a 5th floor. This would be the night I quit. I don't do that shit. I don't do that shit.
His story goes like this. He's sitting alone at the front desk late at night, typing away on the computer, when the phone suddenly rings. He answers it normally, but on the other end there's nothing, just silence. After a few seconds, he says hello again, assuming it might be a bad connection, but there's still no response. Just as he's about to hang up, he hears something that makes his stomach drop. Slow, heavy breathing coming through the receiver. Without thinking, he hangs up immediately and checks the caller ID, expecting to see a guest room number. Instead, it says the call came from room 505. Confused and unsettled, he grabs his phone and walks over to the elevator to prove to himself it's nothing. He shows the buttons clearly on camera, and there is no 5th floor at all. The hotel doesn't even have a room 505. The realization hits him in real time, and you can hear his voice change as it sinks in that whatever was breathing on the other end of the line didn't come from anywhere that should exist. Who knows what caused this? Two friends were exploring an abandoned flat complex late at night, filming as they moved through the outside area to document the place for themselves. The building had been empty for years, with broken windows, peeling paint, and an eerie silence that made every footstep echo. As they were scanning the upper floors from the outside with a flashlight, one of them, a guy named James, suddenly stopped. He pointed the camera toward a very specific window, saying something had moved.
Just watch this.
Isn't it? Future in hand.
430 abandoned flats, and there is something in the window.
Open. Yo. You see movement then? Move the light. Yo. What the fuck is that? Yo.
The curtains inside that flat were moving slowly, swaying back and forth even though there was no wind, and every other window in the building was completely still. James zoomed in, trying to get a clearer look, when an unnerving face suddenly appeared behind the glass. It didn't move like a normal person stepping forward. It was already there, pale and distorted, staring straight back at them from the darkness. The two friends froze, in disbelief, as the face lingered for a split second before fading back into the shadows and disappearing entirely. After that, the curtain stopped moving. James later emphasized that there was no one else in the complex, and no way anyone could have known exactly where they were standing. Against their better judgment, they decided to go inside the building to see if there was any chance someone else was actually there. The moment they stepped into the block, it was clear the place hadn't been touched in years. Random stuff was scattered everywhere, rubbish piled up in corners, and the air felt stale and heavy. They slowly made their way toward the flat they'd been filming from outside, keeping the camera rolling the entire time.
We both go inside the building block to see who was in the window. What happens when we get in is beyond strange.
Well.
Just watch.
Which one is it? I can hear somebody. You know, there's dinging and beeping and... What the... Is that a window there? Yo. Hello? Isn't it? Hello? Yo! The fuck is it?
To be continued.
As they reach the room they believe the face came from, the guy behind the camera pauses and says he can hear something moving nearby. The area itself looks empty of life, stripped bare apart from debris on the floor. Then suddenly, a sharp metallic sound rings out, like a metal pin or small object dropping onto concrete. They both freeze. A few seconds later, it happens again, this time louder and closer, echoing down the corridor. Their tone changes instantly, voices dropping as they scan the room and nearby hallways, but there's nothing and no one in sight. James calls out a hesitant hello, his voice bouncing off the empty walls. Almost immediately after, another noise answers back from somewhere deeper in the building, but the source stays completely hidden. Whatever they saw in that window didn't stay behind the glass, and at that point, the exploration stopped feeling like curiosity and started feeling like they weren't welcome there at all. Subscribe as this exploration may continue in a future video. In the following video, a man who was home alone heard aggressive tapping, so started to film. The tapping kept going, slow at first, then steadily quicker, echoing from a room just out of view of the camera. He pauses, listening, clearly trying to convince himself it's nothing, before finally calling out a hesitant hello. The second he does, everything stops, dead silent. After a few seconds of waiting, he moves toward the basement stairs where the sounds seem to be coming from and starts descending, one step at a time.
Hello? I did not leave the light on. Oh shit. Stuff on the floor. Whoa!
When he reaches the bottom, his camera pans across the room and reveals every single drawer hanging wide open, with a few objects scattered across the floor as if they'd been thrown. He barely has time to process it before, out of nowhere, a piece of cutlery suddenly launches itself out of a cupboard, clattering across the room. He panics instantly and sprints back up the stairs, the camera shaking wildly. As he reaches the top, you can hear something else running behind him, footsteps charging up the stairs just seconds after he does. The video cuts shortly after, and there were never any updates posted. Whatever was down there clearly didn't want him staying, and all anyone can do now is hope he got out safely. The following video begins with the camera shaking slightly, the person behind it clearly nervous. A young woman is filming inside her bathroom after noticing something strange. The toilet paper roll swaying on its own, and the blinds shifting as if a breeze was pushing through, even though the window is closed.
I don't remember fucking opening that. What the fuck is that? Yeah. Okay. Oh shit. What the fuck is that? What is that? Why? That's on the outside. What honestly is that? What honestly is that? I can use which. What the fuck is? It's on the outside. It's on the outside. I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm hard. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
Once she starts to record, she moves closer, her breathing quick, whispering to herself as she reaches for the blinds to check behind them. There's nothing there, just an empty window. She turns the camera back toward the window, and that's when it happens. 3 distinct finger marks suddenly drag themselves across the surface, leaving behind white scratch-like streaks, as if something unseen had swiped at it. The sound is faint, but sharp, enough to make her jump back. She slams the blinds shut, muttering nervously before quickly walking out of the bathroom. The clip ends abruptly, the camera still trembling, and whatever made those marks remains completely unseen. Ellen had been home alone that night when the knocking started. At first, it was faint, but then it grew louder, more desperate, like someone begging to be let inside. The camera shakes slightly in his hands as he walks through the dimly lit hallway toward the front door, his voice trembling as he whispers that he's scared.
Pensé que ya lo había visto todo, pero... Oh my God. Pero... esto es lo que está sucediendo en estos momentos. Sonidos y gritos extraños. Y ahora la puerta. Como pueden ver, estoy completamente solo. No sé a qué me estoy enfrentando, pero tengo mucho miedo, mucho miedo. Vamos a ver qué es lo que podemos captar. No sé si ustedes logran ver algo o logran ver a ver qué o quién está haciendo esos ruidos, ese llanto. Son las 4:45 de la madrugada y no, nada más esto me faltaba. No manches.
The knocking continues in sharp bursts until he finally reaches for the lock and hesitantly opens the door. For a moment, there's only silence, and then soft crying can be heard from outside. The sound is faint but heart-wrenching, echoing through the empty street. Ellen freezes, then quickly shuts the door again, locking it tightly and backing away. He tries to calm his breathing as he walks off, clearly in a state of distress and nerves. But before he can reach his room, a low, eerie whistling begins from behind the door, slow and deliberate, as if whoever or whatever was out there knew he was listening. The clip cuts there, ending with Ellen running toward his room in pure panic. Sophie had been feeling uneasy all day after hearing strange noises in her room, the kind that made her question if someone else was there. To calm down, she stepped outside with a ball, kicking it gently across the yard while trying not to look back at the house. The camera follows her as she walks further away, her tone light but nervous. She must have been starting to feel better at least.
I'm like really paranoid right now. Ew, it smells weird in my mouth. Oh, that just went. Hello? Oh no, I'm out. I'm done. That's it. I'm out. No.
About a minute and 16 seconds into the recording, a faint whisper can be heard calling her name. The most frightening part is that it isn't just any voice, it's her own, perfectly matching her tone and pitch, but coming from behind her near the house. She freezes instantly, the ball rolling to a stop beside her foot. The whisper repeats, softer this time, almost teasing. Without hesitating, Sophie sprints back toward the house, the camera shaking wildly as she fumbles for the door. She rushes inside, slams it shut, and locks it, her breathing heavy. Who knows if she truly escaped whatever this was that night, but what we do know is she is too frightened to inform her parents. Late one night, Wyatt was sitting on his bed when his dog suddenly started barking toward the window. At first, he thought it was just another animal outside, but the dog's behavior quickly turned strange. It wasn't looking out the window. It was staring just beside it, inside the room.
It has been freaking me out for about 15 minutes. I know, dude. What's going on? What are you seeing? Something's been spooking him. He's jumping around. This dude. What are you seeing? Why don't you back up? Charlie. I know. Calm down. It's okay. What are you seeing? You're freaking me out, buddy. Do we need to go? Should we go, Bubba? You tell me when it's time to go. 'Cause I don't know what you're looking at, but when we need to go, you let me know, buddy. What's freaking you out, bub? Okay. Should we go? Yeah? You leave when we gotta go. As soon as you walk out, I'll be right behind you.
Wyatt aimed the camera in that direction, but nothing could be seen. The dog, however, wouldn't stop growling, its fur raised and tail tucked low, letting out uneasy whines between low rumbles. Wyatt tried to calm it, gently saying it was okay, but the dog's focus stayed fixed on something above eye level. as if whatever it saw was tall and standing against the wall. The tension builds until Wyatt nervously asks his dog if it wants to go. That's when it happens. A faint, unmistakable male voice answers softly from the direction of the window. It says, yes, but in a tone that's quiet and almost playful. Wyatt doesn't actually realize the ghost replies, whilst the dog slowly backs away, still growling at the empty space. The clip ends there, leaving the voice unexplained. A woman had started filming after hearing footsteps echoing faintly through her house late at night. Her voice is quiet, unsure, as she moves from room to room, trying to figure out where the sounds are coming from. She eventually stops outside the bathroom with an evident suspicion that it may be involved with the haunting. The air feels heavy, and for a few seconds, everything goes still. She steps inside the bathroom, looking around with the camera pointed toward the mirror and shower, but nothing seems out of place. Then, just as she's about to turn the camera off, something subtle happens. Exactly 1 minute into the video, a clear shadow passed across the railings of the stairs ahead of her, and it was moving smoothly as if someone had just walked by. The woman didn't notice it at the moment, but when she reviewed the footage later, that shadow confirmed what she'd feared all along. She hadn't been alone in the house that night. Misty had decided to post a follow-up video after her previous paranormal clip gained a lot of attention. In this one, she slowed the footage down to show what really happened. It was from her baby cam facing the crib where her youngest was sleeping, while her older son's bunk bed was left vacant due to him being at football practice.
Hey y'all, I see all of your comments coming through. I had no idea that this video was going to blow up like it did, so I have not been able to respond to everybody. A lot of you had said that the video was too fast for you to see anything, so I'll include it on here with it slowed down. I still have no idea what happened or what that was. I left the house today. My son had a football game and my mother-in-law was here. She lost internet for like, I don't know, maybe 2 hours. That was really the only weird thing that happened while I was gone for her. And that's all I have. It was a 4-second video. As soon as I saw that object appear on the top of the bunk bed, I just threw my phone and camera and I just went running up there. So I just really didn't get much longer of a video than that. I will see how tonight goes and see what we need to do further, if it's nothing or if it ends up being something. So have a good night.
For a few seconds, everything looks peaceful until a strange shadow-like object suddenly pops out from the side of the bunk. It moves quickly, almost like it's crawling or leaning forward, before vanishing just as fast as it appeared. Misty immediately ran upstairs when she first saw it live, convinced something was in the room, but when she got there, nothing was out of place. No one else was upstairs, and her baby was sound asleep. Thankfully, the baby was completely fine, but the slowed-down footage made it impossible to ignore that something unexplainable had definitely appeared beside the crib. After the slowed-down footage went viral, a lot of people in the comments wanted to know more about the room itself. so Misty decided to vlog the entire space to clear things up. She started by explaining that the baby had been moved into this room recently from what was now her home office. From the start of the video, she admits she always feels uneasy there, saying it's hard to even breathe when she walks inside. Take a look at what happens when she plucks up the courage to enter, though.
Okay, a lot of y'all were asking about the room situation, so I'm gonna run that through real quick. We moved my daughter from this room into this room. She got new furniture. That's why the bunk bed is still in there. Then we moved the baby from my office, which used to be her bedroom, now it's my office again, up into this room. So this is the attic that's in between the rooms that I was talking about that's cracked. It's been that way for a while, so it's not something that I'm overly concerned about, but y'all have got me freaking out in the comments. I cannot even breathe walking in this room, so I am truly terrified, but I'm gonna walk y'all in here real quick. This is the bunk bed. This is where I took her out of her crib, ran up the bunk bed. There was nothing up there when I came. We have her rocking chair, her changing station, her closet with all of the stuff that we still need to put up. This is where I have everything that was gifted. I know a lot of y'all were saying check stuff that came from a thrift store or that wasn't yours because it might be causing it. I will show you guys up here. There's nothing suspicious. There's no hair from like a rat or something that could have came in. This is marker. These are still tucked in on the sides, like they're still tight from, you know, if somebody was trying to be underneath the blankets. I don't think that's plausible. So I don't know. I have no idea what could be causing it. Oh my God, it's rocking.
She turns the light on and shows that nothing seems unusual at first. The crib sits quietly in the corner, and she points up to the top bunk to prove there's nothing up there either. Everything appears normal, but as she's talking, something subtle shifts in the background. The small chair next to the bed begins to rock gently on its own. Misty freezes, the camera shaking slightly as she realizes what's happening. The chair keeps moving, slow but deliberate, as if someone invisible had just stood up from it. The clip cuts off as she lets out a loud scream and starts her escape from the room, ending the video abruptly. In the next video, Misty is sitting in the living room doing her daughter's hair, trying to get back to normal after everything that had happened. She's chatting softly to her, laughing here and there, and for the first few seconds, everything feels calm.
Mom,
how'd you sleep last night?
good, but Avery wasn't a lot last night.
Oh, you slept with me. How would you have heard her wake up? She slept all night.
There was music playing in the room. You guys were like laughing.
Are you sure you weren't dreaming?
I don't think I was dreaming. I like got like no sleep.
Sorry, baby.
Oh, it's Brandon. Hi, Brandon.
Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning.
You already awake?
Yeah.
How was your night?
Sissy said that Avery kept her up all night because she said she heard her like laughing and playing and music going in her room.
Did you have her in the room? That's not our room.
Yeah, I had Avery last night.
Yeah, you have some crazy dreams or?
That's what I said.
I'm just gonna call, make sure you're awake and get ready. I love you. I'll call you later, okay?
Love you.
Okay, bye.
Then, around 11 seconds in, a faint voice can be heard over the background noise. It's quiet, but clear enough to make out. It says, "Hey." Misty doesn't seem to notice it right away, but viewers caught it instantly and flooded the comments asking who else was in the room. She later confirmed that it was just her and her daughter home at the time. No one else had been in the house, and the voice hadn't come from the TV or her phone. After hearing it back herself, Misty admitted she's now looking into how to sell the house altogether, saying she can't shake the feeling that whatever was in there isn't finished with them yet. At around 5:30 in the morning, Brandy was asleep when she suddenly woke up to the sound of whispering right beside her bed. At first, she thought she must have dreamed it, but something about the feeling in the room made her grab her phone and start filming, just in case. She gets out of bed slowly, still groggy, and begins walking toward the corridor in her room. The house is dark and completely silent, except for her footsteps, until she suddenly stops. A strange noise echoes from further down the hall, followed by a couple of soft but unmistakable knocks, almost like someone was tapping on the wall. Brandy freezes, whispering under her breath, clearly realizing she hadn't imagined anything at all. The whispers that woke her up were just the beginning, and whatever made those knocks was still somewhere out there in her home. In the next part of the footage, things take an even stranger turn. Brandy was dog-sitting for a friend that morning and had brought her own dog over too, so there were two of them in the house. They had been playing only minutes earlier, totally calm, until something changed out of nowhere. Take a look. The black dog suddenly freezes in front of the hallway wall, staring at it with its fur raised, before letting out a low, warning growl. Within seconds, it starts barking aggressively at seemingly nothing non-stop, as if something on the other side was provoking it. The second dog, confused but clearly sensing something too, begins pacing around the room, sniffing the air and acting visibly unsettled. Brandy keeps filming, showing there's nothing on the wall, nothing in the corridor, nothing they could possibly be reacting to. But the switch in their behavior from playful to terrified was instant, almost like both dogs saw or heard something she didn't. Whatever had whispered to her earlier clearly wasn't done making itself known, and now even the animals were reacting to it. A few days later, Brandy posted once again when things escalated, and this time it's something physical she can't ignore. She explained she was about to start cooking later that same day when she walked into the kitchen and noticed something unusual on the front of her freezer door.
Okay, y'all, check this out. I was about to cook and I found this hand, or whatever you call this, on my icebox. Now look at my left hand compared to this thing right here. Look at that. It's not me. I don't have any kids. Just a dog, as you can see right here. Just a dog, and that's surely not his. So what the hell is this? And it's got four fingers. And look how small. What the hell is that? God, if anybody can tell me what this is, please let me know. Thank you.
There was a clear handprint smudged across the metal surface, oily and distinct enough to make out the shape of the fingers. Confused, she placed her own hand over it to compare the size, and it wasn't even close. The print was noticeably smaller, almost like it belonged to something with short, narrow fingers. Brandy doesn't have kids, and it was obviously nothing like her dog's paw shapes either. Some people in the comments tried to calm her down by saying it was probably a raccoon or some kind of animal pressing against the freezer, but the shape didn't match anything like that. And considering everything else that had happened, from the whispering, to the knocks, to the dogs reacting to something unseen, this felt way too connected to be a coincidence. Brandy admitted she's now seriously considering selling the property altogether, because whatever is in that house seems to be getting bolder every single day. The next clip looks like it was filmed on an older phone because the camera quality is really rough, but that almost makes what happens even creepier. The person recording is walking through what seems to be an empty building, opening and closing doors as they go, just to show that nobody else is inside. They push open the first door, glance inside, then shut it again before heading toward another one farther down the hallway. During the clip, they went on to open the second door and step into a completely empty room, their footsteps echoing off the walls. Inside that room is yet another door, this one slightly older and heavier. As they approach it, a sudden loud bang echoes through the entire complex, like something hit a wall or slammed something nearby. The camera jolts, but they keep filming and reach for the handle. When they open the door and quickly close it again, the door almost seems to resist for half a second, like something was pushing from the other side. And if you look closely, when they turn the camera around, a faint figure is standing in the far corner of the room they had just stepped into, barely visible but definitely there. Whatever it wasn't supposed to be in that building at all, and was certainly having an unwelcome stay. On the morning of the solar eclipse, the Lowry family decided to check their home's CCTV because they had been hearing odd noises around the house for the past few nights. What they found on the footage from earlier that day was far stranger than anything they were expecting. The camera shows one of the family members walking into their living room, just going about their morning like normal, when suddenly something shocking occurs. As they step fully into the room, the audio picks up something that immediately stands out. A faint, ghostly voice whispers from somewhere off-screen, asking, how did they find it? As if referring to something hidden or secret inside the home. The person on camera screams and sprints to his mother as fast as humanely possible, making things even more creepy. With the eclipse already creating a strange atmosphere, the timing of this only made the whole situation even more unsettling for the Lowrys, who had never captured anything like this before. In a follow-up video, Noni decided to talk directly to her viewers about what really happened in that CCTV clip, clearing up a few details people had been asking about. She explains that the person walking into the room that morning wasn't an adult at all, but her 11-year-old son. He had been innocently making noodles in the kitchen and ran upstairs afterward, completely unaware that anything strange had been captured behind him.
Hey TikTok, it's your girl Noni, and I'm here with the story time y'all requesting about our little ghost girlfriend. Okay, so yesterday y'all know I posted a video of my son, who's 11, by the way, y'all, because I know a lot of people keep saying like, oh, you can't be afraid, you can't feed off of it, you can't run. He's 11. He doesn't understand, he doesn't know. This is his first encounter. This is, you know, something new and fresh to him, so he really doesn't understand. But I'm going to try to do this quick and probably do a part 2, part 3 if I have to. He wants to tell his side also, so I'm going to let him do his own little video on his own. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so he gets up around 7 a.m. every day, and he decided to make some noodles, which he told me that he was making for lunch to take to school. So he was in the kitchen making some noodles. He said that he heard a voice coming from the cabinets that said to him, how did you find me? When he dropped his noodles, he ran upstairs, came busting in my room, jumping all over my bed, hiding in the corner, screaming and hollering, saying he didn't want to die. Somebody was in the house, telling me to get mine because somebody was in the house. And I'm like trying to tell him to calm down, be quiet, so I can hear what he's saying. Like, nobody's in the house. I kept telling him, nobody's in the house, like, calm down. What is wrong? What happened? But like, he kept yelling, and I'm like, calm down. So then I call my dad, and I'm like, Dad, man saying somebody in the house, he won't get out of my room so that I can get them out the closet so I could figure stuff out, and he would not move.
Noni goes on to say that when he reached the top of the stairs, he actually asked her to get the gun, claiming he heard someone whispering in the house. Hearing her son say that shook her badly because he had no idea about the voice the CCTV recorded. He reacted purely to what he experienced in the moment. That unexpected fear from an 11-year-old made the whole incident feel far more real and believable to her, confirming that whatever whispered during the eclipse wasn't just a glitch or background noise. A few days later, the Lowrys' CCTV captured something else that only made the situation feel even more unsettling. This time, The same 11-year-old boy is downstairs with his older brother, and he's visibly upset. He keeps telling his brother not to leave him alone, clinging to him while wiping his eyes.
Do not leave me, please. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, please. I'll do anything.
The footage shows the older brother trying to reassure him, but before he can even finish speaking, the younger boy suddenly jerks his head toward the hallway, as if he heard something again. Without warning, he sprints off toward the stairs in full panic, leaving his brother stunned. Whatever he heard wasn't picked up clearly on the camera, but the way he reacted made one thing obvious. Whatever whispered to him the morning of the eclipse didn't just stop with that one incident. For those new to the channel, Jefferson works the night shift at one of the most notoriously haunted hotels in the area. In previous footage, we saw strange activity in the kitchen and lobby that couldn't be explained. In this new clip, the action picks up in the hotel kitchen once again.
And here goes the finale.
The CCTV shows the kitchen quiet at first, with nothing moving. Then, without any contact, several items on the counter start shaking violently, rattling plates and utensils. One of the objects suddenly launches itself off the counter, bouncing across the floor with a loud clatter. There's no one in the kitchen, no staff nearby, and nothing that could have caused the movement. Jefferson later confirmed that the counter was completely clear when he arrived for his shift. Whatever was responsible clearly hasn't slowed down, and this footage only adds to the growing list of unexplainable events at the hotel. Chris had brought out a Ouija board the night before with his friend, hoping to finally get some kind of response after everything that had been happening around his house, but the plan fell flat, and the board stayed silent the entire time. Now he was home alone, trying to convince himself that the quiet meant things were settling down, but the house had that strange stillness that always made him feel like something was listening. He was sitting in the living room when a sudden knock echoed through the house, even though no one was at the door, followed by a soft tapping that seemed to come from the room he was in. Take a look.
A lot of you guys are gonna be mad at me, but me and my cousin broke this out. Messed with it last night.
Dad had sex on a Ouija board. Oh boy.
We did it the proper way, though. I know this is a kid's toy, but y'all don't understand the kind of shit y'all's getting into when y'all fuck with this. At least some people don't. I heard it, but I didn't see it. I still hear it. You can hear that, can't you? I can. It sound like tapping. Everybody's like, oh, it's the hutch. It's the hutch. Can you do it again? This is a selfie stick I taped to a tripod.
He stood up and looked around, expecting to find something obvious, but the room was empty and nothing moved except for the faint shift of shadows from the lamp. A whisper slipped through the air behind him, a quiet hello that he didn't even register at first because it sounded too close and too low to make sense. Before he could process the stillness, the camera stand beside him toppled over on its own, hitting the floor with a sudden clatter that made him jump. He picked it up and propped it back into place, trying to laugh it off, but the uneasy feeling lingered like whatever whispered at him was still standing right behind his shoulder. Chris was sitting in his living room later that night, with the TV playing softly beside him and his dog curled up at his feet, trying to enjoy the quiet, even though the house kept giving him that uneasy feeling again. The tapping started up just like before, faint and scattered, and then the door started to vibrate.
Not chewing on it. I'm sorry, y'all. He's just playing. It may be loud on my phone. I don't know yet. But yeah, we're just chilling. And I swear, up and down, I could have swore the door was vibrating. It's a sliding door. Slides into the wall. There it goes. It's making me shake a little bit. I'm sorry. Devil scared the shit out of me. Turn this to the light.
While he stroked the dog, the door across the room began to vibrate like something on the other side was pushing against it. And this is the moment that he pulled out the camera and kept it aimed straight at the door. The door slid open just a little on its own, then slowly crept even farther, revealing a deeper patch of darkness behind it that made the room feel colder. After a few seconds, it opened all the way, swinging wide until the entire doorway was visible and completely empty. Not a single movement inside. Chris stood up with his dog watching closely, walked toward the room, and flipped the light on. The space was perfectly still, every corner untouched, literally not a soul in sight. The silence felt even heavier than before, like whatever opened the door had stepped back just out of reach the moment he crossed the threshold. We might see more of Chris in future videos. The hospital room looked totally ordinary on camera, just a standard space with a bed in the center, a chair pushed against the wall, a small table with folded blankets, and the usual equipment sitting quietly in standby. Nothing looked out of place, and the frame stayed steady for a while, showing a perfectly normal scene with no movement at all. Out of nowhere, a strange, uneven sound slipped into the audio, almost like a motor trying to start even though nothing in the room was supposed to be running, and the backrest of the bed began lifting on its own in small, awkward jumps. It kept rising higher, little by little, climbing at a slow, steady angle until it was nearly upright at 90 degrees, with no one near the controls and nothing touching it. The rest of the room stayed exactly the same, the chair still, the other equipment untouched, every corner frozen except for that single, impossible movement. When the noise finally stopped, the bed stayed locked in that upright position, leaving the room looking perfectly normal again, except for the one thing that clearly hadn't moved by itself. Sabia had a security camera set up in her kitchen in the Netherlands, just a regular feed showing the table and a few candles sitting untouched near the back wall. Everything looked calm for a while, nothing unusual happening at all except for a few soft orbs drifting across the screen like dust catching the light. Then, without any movement around it, the candle suddenly sparked to life, a quick flash that turned into a steady flame, as if someone had just struck a match right beside it. Nothing else shifted in the room, no breeze touched the wick, and there was no one standing anywhere near it. The flame held perfectly still after forming, burning like it had been lit on purpose, even though Sabia knew the candle had been cold for hours. The rest of the kitchen stayed completely normal on camera, but the sudden light from the wick made the whole space feel different. like something unseen had stepped in just long enough to leave a mark, before disappearing again. A few nights later, Sabia checked another piece of security footage, this time from the sitting room, and the scene looked completely still at first, with the furniture exactly where it always stayed, and the time on the right showing it was practically midnight. The camera picked up a few drifting orbs crossing the frame like pale specks floating through the air, the same kind she had seen in the kitchen earlier, but nothing else seemed off until the corner of the room shifted. A chair that had been pushed neatly into the corner slid forward on its own, moving in one smooth line across the floor, even though no one was near it. More orbs drifted by in clusters right after, almost like the movement stirred something up, and then the painting on the wall began tilting slowly side to side as if an invisible hand was nudging it. The rest of the room stayed perfectly quiet. No shadows moving, no lights flickering, just the chair out of place and the painting swaying gently before settling back into place. Watching it all unfold at midnight made the sitting room feel less like a normal part of the house and more like another spot where something unseen was making itself known piece by piece. Who knows if it continued, because this is the last we heard from Sabia. In the following video, Stephen was washing dishes with the usual evening noises in the background, the sink running, the faint hum of the fridge, and nothing out of the ordinary until something suddenly tapped hard against the middle of his back and bounced onto the floor behind him. The sound made him jerk around with that instant confusion where your brain tries to catch up to what your body already felt, and he had no idea what could have hit him because he knew no one else was supposed to be that close.
Dude, I'm a little wigged out right now. So I was washing dishes and just putting things away, and all of a sudden I feel something hit me in the back and I heard it bounce. Look at this shit. And this ball hits me in the back right shoulder out of nowhere. And what's even crazier is look where Avery's at. Now mind you, I just got done washing the air fryer and was drying it off. Whatever it was had a little bit of force. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Lauren's been in bed for almost 2 days. Like, she gets up for a little bit, but she has not felt good at all. And Avery, let's just face it, if he's not watching his tablet, he's on the Oculus or he's outside. And I knew with it being like 12 o'clock, he's inside. So I have no idea. Now I have a lot of activity. It's not like malicious or anything, but that right there was the first time that's happened. So I don't know, what do y'all think about it?
When he cut to the CCTV footage, the camera clearly showed a small ball shooting across the room and hitting him square in the back before dropping to the floor, and the look on his face as he turned around said everything about how unexpected it was. He switched the feed over to another part of the house where his son Avery was sitting in plain view, completely occupied and nowhere near the kitchen, just to make it absolutely clear it couldn't have been him messing around. The replay showed no one behind Stephen, no shadows moving, no sign of any trick, just the ball launching on its own and hitting him like it had been tossed by someone he couldn't see. Elysia was alone at her storage unit in the middle of the day, filming down the long, narrow corridor that always felt eerie, but she never really questioned it. The overhead lights buzzed softly, reflecting off the rows of identical metal doors, while her voice echoed down as she told us about what was happening. She wasn't expecting anything at all until she started filming, just checking on a few things she had stored away, when something at the very end of the hallway caught her attention.
I'm over here at the storage, and I don't know if it's me, but y'all tell me I don't see that. Oh no. I don't know if it's just a fan like going in and out, but the is that? I don't. Maybe I'm bugging. No, I know y'all just see that, right? Oh!
A dark shape peeked out from the corner, a black blob leaning just far enough around the wall for its outline to show before sliding back out of sight again. She kept filming, trying to convince herself it was a trick of the light, but the shape returned a second later, then slipped away, then peeked again like it was deliberately watching her from the far end of the corridor. Nothing else in the hallway moved, no doors rattled, no shadows shifted, except for that one shape darting back and forth behind the last wall. The emptiness made the whole place feel colder, and the repeated movements left her with the awful sense that whatever was hiding around that corner wasn't trying to avoid her at all, but was studying her from a distance she couldn't close. In the follow-up clip, Elysia returned to the storage facility in the daytime, hoping the daylight would make the place feel less threatening. But the moment she stepped inside, she realized it didn't help at all. The entire corridor was pitch dark, even though the building should have been fully lit during business hours. She was the only customer there, with only a couple of staff somewhere in the front office, so she decided to walk in anyway.
Alright, y'all. I'm finally back at this place. And you know, I'm in the process of moving in and out right now, and nobody here. Like, listen. If I see something again, I'm definitely reporting to the manager to put up that video, because I'm not playing. There's one car over there, but I'm just gonna see, because right now everything's dark. Like inside there, I don't know if you can see it, but it's dark. Like, look how scary that shit is, bro. This is why I hate doing this shit, but I got no choice. Just here. See, like, I know when you go in, it censors somebody that's here. Oh, so. See, that's that shit that be scary. And, like, I'm on the second floor. Okay. I know that this lady probably lives here or she does her business here, but she's here every single day, nonstop. If that chair's not there, she's not here. If the chair's there, she's there. And, yeah, so I don't know if she lives there or does her little business there. Yeah, anyways, yeah, I don't know. Alright. Listen, see, this is my storage. And I'm honestly, I'm like acting like you guys are human, or... Bitch, I might be living here tonight. No. I'm not doing this. And there's no way There's no way I'm in the storage stuck in this shit. Hello! Oh my god.
As soon as she crossed the motion sensor, the overhead lights flickered on one by one, illuminating the long hallway in a way that instantly reminded her of the last video. She went upstairs to the second floor, unlocked her storage unit, and began recording inside while she rearranged a few items. Out of nowhere, the sound of something sliding echoed from directly outside the unit, a long dragging noise like metal or plastic scraping across the floor. Elysia froze, staring toward the open doorway before rushing forward and pulling the metal shutter down as fast as she could, trapping herself safely inside so whatever had caused the noise couldn't get in. She waited quietly, breathing hard, but the sliding sound didn't repeat. Later that day, Staff reviewed the CCTV for her, and the cameras confirmed it. Nobody else had entered that floor at all during the time she was there, making the situation far more unnerving than she wanted to believe. Henrique had started recording that night after his young daughter mentioned hearing weird tapping sounds coming from near her cabinet while trying to fall asleep. Wanting to prove it was nothing, Henrique turned on his phone camera and began filming the quiet room, pointing the camera toward the cabinet where his son usually slept beside.
O que vocês fariam se vocês... Não, acabei, eu juro por Deus, eu vi negócio preto aqui do lado da... até acordou, cara.
For the first few seconds, nothing seems strange, just a normal night. Then, suddenly, a shadow passes across the window beside the bed, moving too fast and too high to be anything outside. A split second later, a loud bang echoes through the room, startling him. He rushes to the window to check, but when he looks out, there's nothing. The yard below is empty, and since the window is on the second floor, no person or animal could have walked by. Henrique stays silent for a moment, the camera still recording, trying to make sense of what he just saw. The shadow shouldn't have been possible, and yet it was right there, just inches away from where his son had been sleeping hours before.